ensures you grow outstanding flowers, and this with 50% less watering and without the burden of fertilizing during the entire season. Yes, you can enjoy life. ProMix, the ultimate quality growing mixes.
Some gardeners find creative uses for their old plastic pots. Most do not. Millions of plastic pots will go to landfills this year. But with easy-to-use fiber and peat pots from Bonnie, there's no pot to throw away. They're biodegradable. Create a beautiful garden and give something back to the earth with Bonnie's fresh veggie and herb plants in exclusive peat pots. Sustainable, responsible products from Bonnie Plants. Going greener for you.
Maintain your beautiful garden effectively and responsibly with Garden Safe products. Garden Safe insect sprays and fungicides help you keep your flowers and vegetable gardens free of bugs and free of diseases. And since many Garden Safe products are designed for organic gardening, you'll feel good about using them when protecting the beauty of your garden. Garden Safe. Better plants, better planet.
This has to be one of my favorite flowers. Of course, they're beautiful, and who wouldn't love something this gorgeous? But they're also very easy to grow. You see, these are moth orchids, sometimes called a butterfly orchid, but they're a Phalaenopsis. Orchids are a very large family of plants. There are over 25,000 species that they know of, and there's still some that they're discovering. But this one, I think, for the average homeowner, is the most satisfying. As I mentioned, it's very easy to grow. Now, to produce orchids like this, you want to make sure that you give them some sunlight, but not direct light in a window. When it comes to watering, it's actually very simple. These are called Just Add Ice orchids, and all you have to do is take 3 cubes of ice per plant per week, and that's all the water they need. The ice will melt, the orchid gets the moisture it needs, and you have a gorgeous flower. Now, these are wonderful to have in the house because the blooms will last so long. We're talking 3 to 4 months, these things will flower. So if you've never grown the Phalaenopsis orchid because you were afraid you would kill it, and a lot of people do because they overwater, try some of the Just Add Ice orchids, 3 cubes per plant per week. It's that simple. Okay, let's shift from orchids to taking a look at another breathtaking garden. Kentucky is full of historical landmarks and beautiful scenery. The Whitehall House and Gardens in Louisville was built in 1855 and is surrounded by several colorful garden rooms, including a fern stumpery. Ralph Archer, a volunteer for Whitehall House and Gardens, tells us exactly what a fern stumpery is.
Whitehall is a historic home here in Louisville, Kentucky. About 10 to 12 years ago, there was a start of restoration of the grounds. The Fern Woodland Garden started as a Master Gardener project, as a display garden for ferns and woodland plants here. We had a lot of wood from tree removal laying around, so we decided to build what we called a stumpery. The stumps provided a natural backdrop for ferns, and we feel enhanced the appearance of the garden. Most wooded areas have natural occurring trees down, ferns growing next to uprooted trees, and when we started, the plants came out of 4-inch pots essentially, and you can see how they respond to their natural environment. We have cinnamon fern. At the far end is the royal fern, the European form. In the middle, we have the American form of the royal fern. We have woodland plants, Hexastylus erifolia, We have Hexastylus Shuttleworthi. In bloom in the bog is the bog orchid. We have a number of non-woodland plants, non-native plants in the garden, Pulmonaria, Brunera. One of the features of the garden is planting ferns on wood. We have planted a number of Polypodium vulgare in holes in the stumps, setting around the garden as containers. It provided a wonderful site for growing ferns in a natural setting in a place that they really would cherish and would grow readily and easily.
Now when we return, we'll check out this mouth-watering recipe. We'll also see what's new at the Garden Home Retreat, so stay with us. The Pinky Winky hydrangea is a great hydrangea that I've tested, has great staying power in the garden. You see, the stems are very sturdy, so the blooms don't flop over when it rains. And the Pinky Winky flowers emerge white, and as they mature, the older blooms turn pink at the base, resulting in a shrub with enormous bicolored blooms. It's also an easy hydrangea to grow, and the soil pH has nothing to do with bloom color.
Purple, pink, red, violet, bubblegum, elegant, cheerful, lush, fun, simple. A garden for you begins with the best plants. Proven winners, available at the Home Depot and your local garden center.
P. Allen Smith Gardens is brought to you by Fairy Moore Seeds and Jiffy Starter Products. To learn about all they have to offer gardeners, visit online at fairy-morse.com.
She's behind bars for a sex slang that made international headlines. Now one local FBI agent risks everything, even his job, to prove what her defense couldn't.
Oh my God, these two kids have been framed.
Saving Amanda Knox, Monday on KCAL 9 News at 10.
Oh, man. This secret Kabari sauce is good.
Right? It's what gives Panda's new Kabari beef its bold Asian flavor.
Now, how'd you get your paws on these anyway?
I had a coupon?
Introducing new Kabari beef, marinated beef with wok-seared veggies in our smoky, spicy Kabari sauce. It's a new taste adventure, only at Panda Express.
Did 8 years in the service and met my wife while I was in the service as well. When we got out of the military, the plan was always to go back to school. As a kid, I was never a good student, and it was actually amazing to me how going back to school, it was exciting, it was fun. GI Bill, the VA, and the U.S. Army College Fund all came into play. Having my mom be at graduation and see me walk the aisle, that was kind of a dream come true for both of us.
He has one of those personalities that just, it fills a room. So when he's happy, there's just this light that comes from inside and just engulfs everything.
I want my children to know that there isn't anything that they can't do if they put their minds to it, right?
We are educators helping people build a foundation for the rest of their lives. ITT Technical Institute, education for the future. To find out more, call 1-800-ITT-TECH or visit us on the web.
What's new in Allen's Garden is brought to you by Steel, yard care made easy. From Steel and your Steel servicing dealer. Learn more at steelusa.com.
You know, there's always so much going on out at the Garden Home Retreat. We produce so many vegetables and flowers. The only way I can do it is through my raised beds and having the right tools for the job. So let's take a look at how things were coming along in the garden last summer. You know, I just can't tell you how satisfying it is to grow some of your own vegetables. And one of the systems I've found that's helped me over the years is to create in a small space raised beds. In my garden in town, I have raised beds. They're much smaller than these, but it's a great way to contain the space in which you're working. Now here we've got lots of stuff going on. We've got zinnias still in bloom, and what do you think about the way I'm growing my cucumbers this year? You can see I've got them growing over a hoop of concrete reinforcing wire. And right up here next to where I'm tilling, I've got the last hope for some cantaloupes this year. Now in this area, what I'm working up is a space for some of those Moulin Rouge sunflowers. I just love them. We planted them early in the season, and now I'm going to put in a second crop, and I know I'll be able to get some blooms before frost. And what I'm doing here is working up the soil and integrating a lot of organic compost with some mycorrhiza in it. That's the fungus that helps stimulate growth, particularly in new plants with those feeder roots. So I'm working that into the soil. And as soon as I get these seed in, well, the sunflowers will germinate in about 6 days with these temperatures, and I'll have blooms within 45 days. It's pretty amazing.
This Allen's Mailbox segment is brought to you by ProMix, the ultimate quality growing mixes for your potting and planting needs.
Okay, it's time for viewer questions. I have one here from Mary in Ohio, and she says, my neighbor has some really large elephant ears, Alan. I don't have a lot of space. Are there some that I can plant in containers, and what would I plant with them? It's a great question. I had some really good success this year, Mary, with my elephant ears. This is a variety called Illustrious, and I like it because of the almost black coloration that you get with the green on the leaves. And you can see this is a very shallow container, but I've underplanted it with Creeping Jenny. Now this will take a lot of water, and it will take a lot of shade. I had a few impatiens in the back, and you can see they just about finished up flowering. But all summer long, this was so beautiful. Now what really made this work is I started with a really great potting mix, ProMix for containers, and potted it up early in the season and kept it really moist because these plants really love a lot of water. But I think it turned out really well. So I can save these bulbs and move them out into the garden in the spring once the temperatures come up. Elephant ears like it really warm, so don't put them out too soon. Or I can just start again in the spring with some fresh bulbs, and they'll be up, and I'll have another gorgeous container like this. Good luck with yours. Now, right after this quick break, we'll check out this delicious recipe, so make sure you stay with us.
Looking for seeds guaranteed to grow? Then look to Fairy Morse. Start seeds indoors with Jiffy Pots or sow a beautiful garden directly in the soil. Choose from over 350 varieties of flowers, vegetables, and herbs, including certified organics. And with Fairy Morse, your garden is guaranteed to grow. We've been staking our reputation on it for more than 150 years. That's why we stand behind our products with a gardener's helpline and informative website. Visit your nearest garden center and ask for Fairy Morse and Jiffy products. P. Allen Smith Gardens is brought to you by Marvin Windows and Doors, providing design inspiration for your home. Online at mymarvin.com.
In the next 60 seconds, we want you to qualify to be the next $50,000 home makeover winner. Pick up the phone and get ready to start dialing when the number appears on your screen. Call the number on your screen now, and we'll mail you a key. If your key opens the lock in your local Direct Buy Club, you'll be the next $50,000 home makeover winner. Operators are standing by, so call right now. Direct Buy Club has already awarded over $1 million, and someone is going to win the $50,000 home makeover. Why not you? If the phone number is blinking, the phone lines are now open. Call now to receive your key and an invitation to your local Direct Buy Club, where members can save thousands or more paying low direct from the source prices on big ticket items like kitchen cabinets, home furnishings, flooring, bathroom fixtures, and so much more. Call now and get your key to winning a $50,000 home makeover. Someone is going to win the $50,000 home makeover. Why not you?
You think that's due? Think again. That's what's called a cold sweat. Because our guy has the STIHL Combi system. One tool, multiple attachments. Tremble with fear, little yard. Tremble with fear. The STIHL Combi system. Are you ready for a STIHL?
Each day, thousands of Californians do their part to help students succeed. Here's one easy way to help your child bridge the gap between home and school. Engage your child in fun games and household items that involve numbers. Games like dominoes, bingo, and card games stimulate children's interest in math. And fun calendars and clocks with large numbers can help familiarize your child with the world of numbers. For a brochure with more tips to help bridge the gap between home and school, call 1-800-LOTTERY, the California Lottery, doing their part.
Now I want to show you one of my favorite recipes. The reason it's a favorite is that it's so simple and it makes great use of rosemary. Now I'm just taking this 3-pound chicken and I'm pulling its wings back and tucking them in like that. It just makes for a prettier presentation. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just cutting at the back side here, the skin, just making a cut, where I can tuck a leg in like this, and then I'm going to fold this other leg up under it like this. All right, now we've got a nice compact little package here. The rest is very simple. Rosemary and lemon will be the key ingredients. I'm going to take 2 quarter pieces of lemon and rub it on the bird, and then I'm going to take and stuff that lemon rind up in the bird, and the other one, making sure that I'm completely soaking it down with the lemon, and I'm going to tuck that quarter up, and then I've got 2 that are not going to be squeezed that I put up in the bird. Now this will help preserve moisture on the inside of it. All right, now with that in place, what we're going to do is take this rosemary, and I like to use about 6 or 7 stems of it. I fold them and I tuck this up inside the bird as well. So it's fully stuffed with this lovely fresh rosemary. Okay, now for the top of the bird, or the crust, what I like to do is take just a little bit of olive oil, rub it over it like this, take a little salt, a little cracked pepper, and then some rosemary to go on the bird like this. Okay, that's about, it's finely chopped, about a teaspoon. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? All right, now I'm going to place the bird in a baking pan. I've preheated the oven to 350. Now I've got a pound of potatoes here, and what I'm going to do is take the rest of the olive oil, started with half a cup, I'll pour the olive oil all over the potatoes. I'm going to add a small white onion. You can use as much onion as you like, more the better as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to add some salt, about a generous teaspoon of salt. And I'm taking the rest of that lovely rosemary and I'm sprinkling it all over it. Mixing this together. And then laying the potatoes all around the bird. And what you'll want to do is you'll want to cook this for about 2 hours, check on it. And what will happen is the juices of the chicken will conspire with the flavors of these potatoes and rosemary, and you will have a wonderful meal. You want to cook this until the juice that's coming out of the chicken runs clear. Now it's time to pop in the oven. Now wasn't that simple? A great use for fresh rosemary from the garden.
For orchids that will fill your home with color and joy, just add ice. For holiday beauty that lasts, just add ice. If you think you can't keep orchids thriving in your home, just add ice. There's never been an orchid that's easier to care for than Just Add Ice brand. Water once a week with 3 ice cubes, keeping partial light away from drafts. And oh yes, these orchids love companions. Just add ice and enjoy.
Well, we've certainly seen some beautiful and unique garden spaces in today's show, as well as some exotic plants. This illustrious elephant ear and these gorgeous moth orchids. Give them a try. Just add ice, that's all you have to do to water them. You may say, well, that seems mighty cold for these plants. Well, actually, the temperature of the ice doesn't bother them at all, and you need to always remember that if you're comfortable with the air temperature, the orchid is too. If you have any questions about today's show, just check out my website. That's pallensmith.com. Until next time, from the garden, I'm Alan Smith.
Receive more of Alan's gardening advice, design tips, and recipes. Sign up for his free weekly e-newsletter at pallensmith.com/e-newsletter.
Bonnie cabbage is a cool season vegetable suited to both spring and fall. The trick to growing cabbage is rich soil, plenty of water, and good fertilization. Cabbage contains powerful nutrients and may reduce the risk of some forms of cancer. It's also especially high in beta-carotene, vitamin C, K, and fiber. When preparing cabbage for the table, be careful to cook it as briefly as possible and in stainless steel pans to avoid the smelly sulfur compounds that overheating may release.
In this garden I dream of a bed of flowers. Bluebirds sing of the beauty all around us. And every time the sun comes out, I can't help but smile. Oh, no, I can't help but smile.
Wondering what to do with those old or unused items just gathering dust? Trade them in for a car at Universal City Nissan. For 10 days only, Universal City Nissan is having their first ever Trade In Anything used car sales event. Bring in anything you have lying around. Bikes, your little red wagon, even your duck. Oops, sorry, no live animals. We'll take your trade-in at fair market value and put it towards any used or certified pre-owned car on the lot at the #1 Nissan dealership in the world, Universal City Nissan.
HBC, come and play with me. Kill me, bet me, check me, raise me, I'm all in. HBC is the place the winners goes to play and win. Buck is his name, no limit, poker is his game.
I make my living on the track. I play my cards at Hollywood Park Casino. That's Buck.
At Stater Brothers, you can look forward to great savings, selection, and service you can rely on week after week. This week, fresh Stater Brothers ground beef is our lowest price of the year at $1.79 a pound, sold in the 2-pound package. California-grown red Temptation seedless grapes are a sweet buy at just 89 cents a pound. And choose from selected varieties of DiGiorno or Stater Brothers pizza, now only $3.99. Stater Brothers, lowering prices every day to help you save on what you pay.
KCAL9 News, the best primetime local news. Join Sharon Tay, Rick Garcia, and Evelyn Taft with weather, weeknights at 8 and 10 on KCAL9.
House Calls is brought to you by Minwax, makes and keeps wood beautiful easily. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hi, my name's Ron, and like you, I've got a home improvement to-do list that grows faster than a weed in summer.
There's a hive!
He's going to throw it up in the air, and he's going to... Just about every project is a learning experience. Yes, sir, there's hardly a room in the house I haven't laid a hand on. Sometimes, though, I can't resist the urge to pack my bag, hop in my truck, and hit the open road. Because somewhere in this do-it-yourself country of ours are folks who could use a little help. I'm making a lot of good friends along the way. But still, there's no place like home.
Have you ever noticed how often our home improvement projects are inspired by a problem? Like today's show, for example. Not long ago, I plain ran out of room to store my garden tools. Well, it seemed to me the only solution was to expand. But I didn't really want to add on to the garage, so I built a garden shed from a kit. Another problem, trekking to the mailbox in bad weather only to discover the mail hasn't come yet. I found a great solution for that one too. And have you all admired paintings like this but never thought you could do them because you're not an artist? No problem. I'll show you how.
It was easier than I thought.
I was done in no time. Stain was a snap. Protective finish was smooth.
So easy I did it again.
Minwax makes and keeps wood beautiful easily.
No competitor looks at trucks the way GMC engineers do. That's why the Sierra is engineered with variable valve timing, active fuel management, and a 6-speed Hydromatic transmission. So it's the only truck that delivers over 300 horsepower of acceleration and trailering power when you need it without sacrificing best-in-class fuel economy. The Sierra from GMC. When you never compromise, you have nothing to hide.
You wouldn't swim in a pool with no water, or visit a museum without art. Then why have a Medicare health plan that's missing the coverage you need? Call now and learn about AARP Medicare Complete from Secure Horizons. It's the complete package that may include hospital, doctor visits, and prescription drugs in one plan, often for no more than what you currently pay for original Medicare. Don't miss out. Call Secure Horizons now to get dependable coverage from a leader in Medicare Advantage plans. Get benefits like an annual preventive screening and immunizations for a $0 copay, vision and hearing benefits, and more. And some plans have 0 monthly premiums. With the cost of many things going up, AARP Medicare Complete is a smart choice. Is your health coverage missing something? Call now and get the complete package with AARP Medicare Complete from Secure Horizons. And don't pay more, just get more. Annual enrollment starts November 15th and ends December 31st. So call Secure Horizons now.
I never thought it would be so easy.
I was done before I knew it. Staining was fast. The protective finish was flawless.
So easy. I did it again.
Minwax makes and keeps wood beautiful easily.
This closed caption sponsorship is brought to you by
Activon, powerful pain relief.
Activon, for joint pain, muscle pain, arthritis, and backache.
Activon, powerful pain relief.
Activon, powerful pain relief.
You know, when it comes to my wood shop, there's a place for all my tools, and all my tools are in their place. But I can't say the same thing for my gardening gear. So I want to put them in a gardening shed. The only problem is, I don't have one. So I'm going to build it.
An online search leads me to Handy Home Products and a shed that reminds me of a miniature barn. A few days later, it's delivered by my local home improvement center. I've picked out a spot for my shed in the backyard. So to save a lot of carrying, I have everything dropped close by. I've unpacked my kit, laid all the parts out here, and checked them against the parts list. Now, I don't always do that, but it's a really good idea in a project this size. Now, this kit comes complete with everything that I'll need, except for the roofing materials and the paint. So you know what? I can't see any reason not to get started. I'm placing the shed on pressure-treated 4x4s. The floor frame, made of 2x4s, will sit right on top. Next, I nail in floor joists every 16 inches. Since everything is pre-cut, things move along pretty quickly. Then I nail the joist to the 4x4s, level the frame, and begin putting the decking on top. Floor's finished, got the decking on top. Now the next thing is to build the walls. Since the new shed floor is both flat and level, it'll make the perfect surface on which to assemble the wall sections. These parts, too, are all pre-cut. All I have to do is nail. Once the framing's done, I start on the siding.
I'm working alone today, and just about now I'm starting to wonder how I'm going to get these wall sections up once they're put together. Hey, Ron. Hey, Peter. Hey, Alex. How you doing? Wow, I like your wheels, buddy. Building a garden shed. And I'm glad you came along because I've been putting this wall together. I had no idea how I was going to stand it up. Can you give me a hand?
Absolutely.
Well, I can always count on Peter to lend a hand when I need it. The same goes for his 5-year-old son, Alex. With the wall in position, I attach a simple brace to hold it upright. Alex, though, is not content just to carry the lumber. He wants hands-on tool time.
There you go.
With the wall braced, Peter nails it to the floor. Then it's on to number 2.
Yeah, think of the old barn raising. There we go. Good. There you go. Good. Okay. All right. Now come down to me if you could. That's right. Good. Okay, Peter. All right. Number 3. Not too bad, huh?
No, this is good.
Come on down. Okay. All right, guys.
I'd say we got ourselves a building. We finished the nailing just as the sun's beginning to drop behind the trees.
Well, Alex, I think we'll call this a day. What do you say?
Good job, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Got 4 walls up. Put the roof up tomorrow. You gonna be around?
Sure will. I'll come by.
Today is roof day. I start by attaching 2x6s to the tops of the walls. Now this morning, at least, I'm on my own again, so I'll need some good advanced planning to deal with the rafters. First, I set them in place upside down. Then flip them up one by one and toe-nail them into the 2x6s I just installed. Well, it's really starting to look like a shed. Actually, a small barn. I like it. Now, with these rafters up, the next step for me is to start putting on the roof sheathing. Right now, the rafters are being held in place only by the toe nailing. But as soon as I attach this 5/8" sheathing, the whole roof assembly will become rock solid. The gable ends come in 2 sections. I nail up the first one, install a cleat, then put up the other half. The trim, which is all pre-cut and primed, covers any remaining raw wood, unfinished surfaces, and joints. The shed door comes pre-hinged, but it's heavy and will be a bit awkward to hold in position. So Peter and I use a couple of adjustable clamps to jack it into place and secure it, while we fasten the hinge rail with nails and screws. Other trim pieces, like these cross braces, will add to the barn look of the shed.
That's it. That's teamwork, man.
Sure is.
Good job.
The simulated hayloft door adds another bit of interesting detail. Inside, I've got a little modifying to do. I start by removing a section of stud wall. Windows were an option for the shed, and I ordered 2. I like the idea of letting in some additional light, and I think they'll add detail to the exterior and interest to what otherwise would be pretty plain walls. To install the windows, I need to first frame out what will be the window opening. Once that's complete, I bore from the inside out at all 4 corners. Then insert a jigsaw into the holes and begin cutting away the siding. Well, I've got the opening. Now that inevitable moment of truth. Do I have a fit? I do. This tool caddy, also an option, simply screws onto the back wall of the shed. Since the roofing materials are not included in the kit, I picked them up from my nearby home improvement center. Nailing on the metal drip edge is the first step in roofing my building. We lay the first strip of roofing paper on top of the drip cap. Hammer tackers allow us to keep one hand free for holding as we staple. The second strip overlaps the first. This ensures that any water will run off the edge of the roof and not get underneath the paper. Although they may look intimidating, shingles are fairly straightforward to install. Again, I begin at the bottom, overlapping each course and staggering the seams. This pneumatic roofing nail gun, which can be rented, really speeds things up. Overhanging shingles are trimmed off using a utility knife. My shed came already primed, which makes painting a bit less time-consuming. And under the heading of window dressing, a bit of trim, shutters, and planter boxes. Finally, it's up on the rooftop, because no self-respecting barn would be complete without a cupola. This one, of course, is purely decorative. And a weather vane. After all, you guys got to know which way the wind's blowing. Well, that pretty much does it. The tool caddy is going to take care of my rake and shovel storage, and I think I know how I want to use the inside. Hey, you know, when you got a shed as good as this, it seems like kind of a waste to use it just for storing tools.